So the original idea for this video was supposed to be that I would wash my hair and then review some products as I was answering questions from you all. But I think I'm going to use the products again and then style my hair in a completely different way. So in a few seconds, you'll see me transition out of like this wash day, and I'm saying that my hair is moisturized because I had just put some leave-in in. So just don't mind that and enjoy the Q&A. Welcome back. We got a lot of things to talk about.
And we have time to discuss. Let's chat.
Girl, so now that my hair is all moisturized and my Beyonce tickets are still safe, I'm just going to be using my Hold and Shine Perfecting Gel. She ain't never did me wrong. She ain't going to do me wrong today. You better not.
She not talking to me like...
I am talking to her hair gel. I asked y'all to ask me questions. Now, how that work? Me asking you to ask me a question? But I did so on my community tab because I wanted to do a Q&A while I twisted my hair. And the girls responded 82 times.
It's too much. It's just too much.
My God, today we do not have the time. So let's just make like half of Twitter right now with them red boots and hop into them. Rosie W says, how did you become comfortable with doing things solo? For example, traveling, living alone.
Hold on.
What you trying to say, ho?
Y'all kill me with these vague statements.
I've been on my own for a very, very long time. Like, the girl has been homeless, in foster care. I grew up in so many different places because of those things. And so I faced a lot of fear at a very young age. So I've been training for this. Life is really what you make it. I'm somebody who wants to squeeze so much out of life. Like, when I bite into that thing, I want all the juices to come out. You know what I mean? But you have to bite into it to get the juice. And that's where fear dies for me, is knowing that there is juice in life. All I have to do is bite it. So I can let fear paralyze me and not buy that ticket to France or to Tulum. Or I can just do it, given I have the resources to do so. So on a mental level for me, it's really just about getting the most out of life, and fear dies when you are so committed to that. And I've experienced too many moments when I'm traveling or when I'm doing something that fear usually would hold me back from, where I feel so connected to being alive and enjoying my time here. It's just very hard for me to be afraid to do things alone anymore. Also, I look back on my life and the amount of times that I've waited for friends or family or anybody to get things done or to do things with me, I've missed out on so much. Even like wanting to try a new restaurant or something. It's just like, girl, just go alone. I'm annoying myself because I'm not parting my hair right.
Oh my God, you know what? Because I want to challenge myself to quit.
I want to twist it, but I feel like, you know what? I need a mirror. Nice thing is that my hair truly is moisturized. Like, this feels so moisturized. But yeah, girl, waiting for other people, you're gonna miss out on a whole life. You also have to believe that your brain is making a bigger deal out of it than what it truly is. If you're afraid of going somewhere alone and like how people will perceive that, people looking at you thinking, oh, she's lonely. Oh, she ain't got no friends. Oh, girl, ain't nobody thinking about that. Your brain is making that up.
You just made that up.
You will slowly realize as you dip your toes in it that it's truly not bad at all. Bro, I don't want to do mini twists. I keep playing myself trying to do mini twists. I'm not trying to be here all day. Anyway, moving on. Who are some of your favorite visual artists, painters, photographers, sculptors, etc.? Love your channel so much. I've been watching for 4 years now. 4 years? I looked this up because I saw this question earlier. I'm so bad with names. I'm not somebody who can just be like, oh yeah, this is my favorite artist. Boom, 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 boom. It's not working, hell. But I do have favorite artists. So I'm going to get the list out. First up is Derek Ramsey. I think it's Derek Ramsey.
But I'm not.
His art is just like fun. It's a little cartoonish, black. He painted this series. It's just black people in swimming pools. You know, the historical context of black people not being able to swim in swimming pools the same as like white people. And also the kind of cultural, historical context where people think that black people can't swim. He just painted these beautiful like paintings of black people having fun in swimming pools. And I don't know, that's what drew me in. And then I just delve into the world, his entire world of art. I'm obsessed. Magnus Giuliano makes really cool, maybe like 3D printed art that is for hair. They come up with just some cool stuff. I love it. OG Hail Alex. I don't know how to pronounce that for real. Love the photography there. Very soft pictures of black people. I don't know. I'm obsessed. Choo Choo Ojukewe. I want them to take my picture. Tyron Red as well. Cover photo photography. Just really good photographer. I've been following him for a while. Dolores J. Farmer. She is a ceramicist, I guess is what you would call it. Throws clay on a wheel. And she's really good at it. And I am obsessed with her. She's just like this black woman, just, you know, smiley, just living her life as a ceramicist. The Gregory Cara, they do this like face jewelry stuff that's real like pointed and sculptural. I want one, but they cost like $200. And then finally, PJ Harper. I've been trying to get one of this dude's like sculptures for the longest time. He makes these real cunty head busts of women and black women specifically. I've been obsessed for a minute now. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Big twist, just like this. Yeah, keep it coming. Next question is, when are you going to start doing follower meetups? Vacay edition? Take us somewhere and let us all bask in the sun. This sounds so fun to me. Not. Logistically, I would be so stressed out doing this. I'm so stressed out by even the thought of saying something like, hey girls, let's go to Bermuda.
Shake, bitch.
Yes. And then not one person buys a ticket. I mean, I'm traumatized from that one time one person bought my merch.
Just one.
But then I think I'd also have host anxiety. Are the girls having fun while we're in Bermuda? But you know, that is kind of like fear talking. And I'm sure I could like pull off something like this. This would be fun to like hang out with y'all, but in Mexico City. I'm down. But I need the serious girls to the front. Coco has 2 questions. What's your fondest childhood memory? Now I'm thinking back and immediately getting traumatized. My sister won this like go-kart race sponsored by Kmart, and they gave us a free trip to Disney World. And so I got to like leave school and go on a plane for the first time and go to Disney World for an entire week. And they gave us a hotel. We had free food, all these things. And my sister like raced in this second part of this competition. We got to watch her race.
Started from the bottom, now we way up, way up.
I just remember being there and drinking like orange juice, like a ton of orange juice. I remember playing in the pool.
I can't swim.
Going on the rides. And before like the end of the week award ceremony, as we walked into this huge hall in Disney World, there was a huge table of just a bunch of like disposable cameras, and we got to take so many of them for free, and we took a bunch of pictures. So yeah, that was just like a really fun vacation. And my mom did not have money for us to be like doing that every year, but you always saw it on TV, people going to Disney World. It happened to me, and I was like so grateful for it. What was the best thing you ate in 2022? That I ate that. Wow. Everything at Nobu Cabo Resorts.
I'm in the calf, y'all, and I got this white bean and sausage soup, y'all. It is bush.
I put out a whole vlog on it, so you can watch that on my second YouTube channel. Wow. These tacos were so good. Oh my God. I could cry right now thinking about them. And that's another reason you should do stuff alone, because you just be discovering stuff that you wouldn't discover because your friends will hold you back. Thinking very carefully, what are your top 16 tracks on Renaissance?
All of it.
If you happen to cut your hair, as you mentioned on your previous video, what can we look forward to in terms of content? If I cut my hair, which I'm still thinking about it, maybe you'll still get hair content, but I probably would like fully take a break from hair content for like a little bit. Definitely would be dyeing my hair, and then I would probably do more like travel videos and lifestyle content. Smells Like Cigar says, are you content with where you are in life right now and with the amazing progress you've made?
No.
Just kidding. Girl, I'm just fine. You know what? I'm so thankful. Every single night when I go to bed, it's usually when I go to bed and usually when I wake up, and sometimes in the middle of the day. Honestly, all the time, I get these bursts of gratitude where I'm just so fully connected and thankful for the things that I have and the comfort that I'm feeling.
That's when the blessings come in. Blessings come in.
And the peace of mind that I have. There's so many situations that I've been in where it's like every day is just so taxing mentally that to go to bed in a comfortable bed with my brown noise on in this like really cool apartment, plenty of sunlight when I wake up, like it's just the physicality of my comfort is so overwhelming to me because I've been homeless, because I've been in foster care, because I've lived in situations that were just terrible. I cry just about every single night. I tear up just being like, ooh, I'm so thankful. I say, I have to vocalize it. Ooh, I'm so thankful. Ooh, hallelujah. Ooh, it'd be just like that every single time too. When I wake up, I breathe, and I'm just so thankful to be alive. Yeah, I think I'm content for those very reasons because I just am able to exist without all the stress. Sydney Harris, 2 questions. Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? If so, who are your top 3 favorites? I don't.
I am not gay.
I think I'm one of like 2 gays on Earth, and I guess at this point 2 people on Earth that does not watch RuPaul's, but I don't know, girl, I tried. But I do listen to Bob and Monet's podcast, even when they recap episodes of RuPaul's. I don't know who these girls are, but it's fun to listen to them talk about it on the podcast. Amber Reed says, if you couldn't be an influencer or a YouTuber anymore, what would you do with your life? I went to school for neuroscience, and then I switched over to health and human biology with a focus on social context of health and disease. And so I would either work in like public health, but also while I was in college and even before college, I was very interested in these things. I did lighting design. I did some video editing, a few creative things, creative writing even. I would most likely end up in doing this still. Which was your favorite live stream that you did, and or what memory from a live stream was your favorite? No, because my live streams feel like fever dreams. So I created this whole universe called Pumpkin Town and it had different characters, and each week a different character would come up on the live stream, and then there would be like backstory that I filmed already and kind of storyalized. And that was really fun. So I would say it's my Pumpkin Town series. And only the girls from the live stream, I think, would understand. Empress S says, "Hi, I'm 20 years old and I'm at a crossroads with choosing my passion. I recently dropped out of college because I didn't know what to major in, and the way college curriculum is set up, it's overwhelming. It feels like people are doing a lot more than I am, or they already found theirs. What advice would you give a person like me in this situation?" Girl, I felt the same way. College is set up, and school in general is set up to have you comparing yourself to everybody else. Like, it's built and baked into the system. But I would say join the clubs, girl. Go get a roster of all the clubs that you dropped out of college. My bad.
No, my bad. I'm sorry.
But if you were at college, I would get a roster of all the clubs at Brown. At the beginning of the school year, they would always host these events where you could go around, and each club or organization at the school would host a booth, and you can go up to them and ask them questions about it. And you would find that there's so many granular interests at the school. There's just groups that hang out and they talk about stocks.
Okay.
It's like, okay. But these groups, besides being like pillars of community for you at college, are also great entry points into like future passions of yours, things that you would end up pursuing. Outside of college, I think a way to find your passions is literally, girl, ask yourself what you're interested in. If you could spend all day doing one thing, what is that? And then like find near you some kind of club, organization, school for that particular thing. Whether it's drawing, acting, producing videos, whatever it is, just do that. College can help you do that, but it's a very expensive way to do it. Marlo B says, would you ever start your own hair care line? The girls ask me this every single time.
Answer the question.
The way that I see it is, if I'm not able to bring anything new to the market, or if I'm not able to do something better than what's already being done, I don't really feel the need to do so. I'm not trying to be no cash grab machine. If I was, I would have been put my content behind a paywall. Yeah, the girls have been trying to convince me to do Patreon for the last 10 years. I don't know if I'm here necessarily just to take people's money. And I think that is something I want to parse out before I go and make a whole hair care line. I want to make sure that I'm not just, convinced that this is just going to make me money. I want to be able to truly offer people things that will help them, will make hair care easier, more fun, simple. I'm not going to lie. I have been, playing around with stuff. I'll just say that. Right now, there is no serious rollout for a natural hair care line. But maybe one day. Peanut Butter Cup says, what are your thoughts on influencers all having the same boring looking apartments with all white everything? Boring! I feel like this question, I think a lot of people have, feels directed more at the influencers than it does at the fact that corporations are buying up like huge plots of land and they're building the same exact apartment over and over and over and over and over again, and forcing us into more of a rental economy. I don't know if this is true or not, but to me, it kind of looks like all the houses that are available are for sale. They're not necessarily being rented out. So most young people have luxury apartments as their first option for housing, and they just so happen to look all the same because the same contractor is hired to do the same work. As I was looking for apartments to live in Phoenix, this literal exact apartment was available in 10 different apartment complexes that are owned by different people even. So I guess my thoughts are, it's kind of whack, but I mean, I get it. Jocelyn Brooks says, who inspired you as a creative and what wild creative desires do you have? Like, what could you make given the resources? Love your videos, especially your lives. They're so funny.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
I know it sounds so cliche and it sounds so dumb, and I think a lot of people would say that, but Beyonce, I've followed her journey since she was with Dark Child Productions. I lived a few blocks away from the studio, and so I would hear about her even as a kid, like 5 years old. I would hear like murmurs about Beyonce on the streets, on the radio, local radio in Pleasantville. They'd be like, Beyonce's in town. She's recording some. But to see all of the eras and all of the iterations and how she references herself and other people, it is so well crafted. And I think that her team as well is so carefully chosen that it just is so inspiring to me. The fact that Renaissance feels already like a visual album and we don't even have visuals for it is crazy to me. The first visual album that she dropped, Beyonce, shook me up. It blew my mind. I was like, this is so cool. I wasn't necessarily a Beyonce stan until Beyonce self-titled came out. I always loved the songs, crazy in love. I just didn't have access to stand-up when I was younger.
Why?
Because I didn't have a phone until I was in college. But when I was in college and Beyonce self-titled dropped in the middle of exam season, I closed my book from studying at 12 a.m. because I had an exam the next day. And I went home and I played that album, ho. And I think of Beyonce and I think of her team and how much resource they have, how much money, the network that they have. They can dream up crazy things. The amount of money that I have and where I am in life, I feel like limits what my brain even can access. So I think it's a lucky kind of insight to study Beyonce, who does have kind of like limitless resources to be creative. I think I would make a movie.
For real?
Yeah, if I had like a team of people to do it with. Y'all have a lot of questions about career. This is so interesting to me. But another question about consultancy and content creation, how do you manage it, and other passion projects you're working on. Honestly, I think right now I need an assistant, and I'm so scared of even saying that because I know people will reach out to me and be like, I want to be an assistant. But I think right now I'm just like, girl, how am I going to pay a whole assistant? But I also know that the business acumen that I need right now is deciding whether or not I actually could use one, because, you know, once you get help, you make bigger and better things happen. Like Beyonce got help with them 3 kids, you know what I mean? She got help, I'm certain. When you have help, you have more mental space to execute on the things you want. But honestly, most of the time I'm overextending myself. And so I just do it. I shut up and work.
It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's really what it is. There's like no real management. There's no real balance. Usually I'm working like up late every single night. You know, it looks all glamorous, like the lifestyle of a YouTuber. But for me personally, I don't know what these other girls are doing. I'm usually working like 24/7.
I don't even have time for my love life, to see my family. I don't even have time for nothing.
Have you considered doing a review of Swirly Curly's Mango and Moringa Moisture Max products? Every time I get a suggestion from y'all in the comments about a very specific brand and product, I always think that y'all work for these companies, or that somebody sent you here, or that you're some kind of ambassador. Because there's so many instances where people are under my comments just like, oh my God, have you tried this yet? Try this. And then I trace them back and I'm like, oh, you literally own this company. Like,
I'd say I'm surprised, but I know who you are. I've seen it up close and personal.
Girl, you work for them, girl. Take off the mask. Art's first lady says, what's your current favorite hair care collection? Definitely the Do, I would say. Like, I have so much fun using their products. It's so easy, quick. Ooh, Quirky Viper says, what advice would you give someone interested in starting a YouTube channel as their job? I would say don't quit your day job. Ooh. Don't just quit something else to try to go pursue being a YouTuber.
You get your work done on time.
It's a gamble. Keep your regular job and then start a YouTube on the side. That's what I did. When I was working in marketing before I did this, I would work my 9 to 5 every single day. And then I would come home and work my next 9 to 5. Come home, edit videos, and I would stay up late at night. Sometimes I would literally stay up, and then it would be time to clock into work again. But I was fully committed to it, and I think that's a big thing. You have to be committed to it. 2, and this is exactly what I did, I would just write out a list of all the ideas I had for videos. Like, I would get like 50 ideas. I would just sit there, and then one by one, I would just execute Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I did that for maybe a year, promoting my videos on every other social media platform, and that kind of jump-started the monetizing part, because for the longest time I was doing it for no money at all. It was just fun. And then randomly YouTube was like, oh, do you want to join the partner program? And I was like, sure. And I remember getting my first check, and it was like $100. I was so thankful because my mom and I needed that money so badly. And from there, you just kind of try to be better, a little bit better than what you were in the last video. And that's where I am now. Denise Foster says, when are you opening up that barbershop spa that we talked about in one of your lives sponsored by All Black? Not the specificity. That is something that I am seriously considering. I need real partners in that, though. I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want to have to think about all the legal work. Like, what's the investment? What's the price? Set it up. Thank you. Like, there's too much. Bree M says, do you ever plan on moving to another state? Girl, I plan on moving the hell up out of this whole country.
I am leaving, and you can't stop me. I'm packing my bags.
I truly do think that I'm going to end up in a different country. I don't know if there's any state other than maybe New York that I would willfully move to at this point. Everything is so expensive. America has shown itself to me tenfold over. At this point, it's just apartment complexes and roads that lead to your job.
You don't get down like that. Everybody over here go to work.
There's no urban planning where people can commune. There's like parks dotted everywhere, but even that feels like man-made and artificial. And then there's like the national parks, which are great, but they're all so far away. And then they cost money to get into. America is so dizzy off of capitalism that every state looks the exact same. It's all the same like shopping complexes, the same mall. But when you travel, you see how different people live. And you're like, why can't we have that in America? I don't hate it here, I'm fine. There are things that I do like about living here, but Mexico City, Berlin, Malaga, Spain, Barcelona, I'm like, they look like real good options to me. But seriously, if I had to move somewhere in the United States, it would be DC, New York, or Denver. Which I hate to say because my ex is from Denver, and it's like, for some reason, I can't go there. It just doesn't feel right. The energy is off now. The Alpha platform says, who are you going to the Renaissance tour with? And will you ever go party with a subscriber? I'm going to the Renaissance tour with a group of people. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going with my best Judies. It's going to be for real lit because I'm going to see Beyonce twice. I got Club Renaissance tickets in London. How?
I'm on my way.
We're making a whole trip out of it. That's gonna be so much fun. I'm also seeing her in Atlanta. I really can't wait. And will you ever go party with a subscriber? Yeah, I've actually partied with a few subscribers. Like I've gone out to clubs with a few subscribers. Abdullah says, make more reaction videos. Girl, that's not a question. For whatever reason, reaction videos are so hard for me to make. And that's the only reason I haven't made a reaction video. If I had an editor to do it for me, I would just do that. I finished my hair.
What?
And I talk too much. Like, why can't I just answer a question and go? It took me a whole hour and 30 minutes to get through like 5 questions. So now that my hair is finished, I can just rapid fire get through the rest of these questions. Even though 30% of them are the same question. Everything is, if you could do another profession, anything other than being a YouTuber, what would it be? I don't know.
I know what I'd be. A whale.
Why?
I love whales.
Shanetta Williams says, how do you handle burnout? For me, it's about reinvention, and I feel like I've learned this from celebrities having eras. If Beyonce was still in her Dangerously in Love era, she would have been burnt out, done, crusted, left up, dried up, crunched up, stomped on, and left to dry. Like, could you imagine singing the same song, looking the same way, wearing the same weave, girl, for 25 years? But because Beyonce can reinvent herself, there's new things to be excited about. There's ways to expand and challenge yourself. Sarah Poindexter says, how long was your hair journey? I've been growing my hair out for about 10 years now. It started in 2013. So by the end of this year, it'll be 10 whole years that I've been growing my hair out. MK has 2 questions. How do you recharge? And if you could relocate, would you, and where to? I literally lay down.
Because I'm tired.
I lay down on my couch. I watch TV. Sometimes I'll ride my bike. I love riding my bike. That helps me kind of recharge.
Whoa! Wait a minute, that hurt me! Wait, so make get up. Stop. Let it go.
Or I'll just like do some baking, and I'll like be so slow and intentional with every single step of the process. So I look for things that slow it all down and there's no money involved. And if I would relocate to any country, it would be, it's a toss up between somewhere in Mexico or somewhere in Spain or even Portugal. I don't know. There's so many places that I really, really love, but I would definitely do it. Yeah. Zanae Raya says, when are you traveling to Caribbean countries? I really want to go to the Caribbean, but with other people, with friends. That's an experience that I truly do want to have with other people. I don't necessarily want to go by myself. I want to like turn up with like my friends, the girlies, and shake booty on the beach. Nikia says, what have you recently learned about yourself that surprised you? I learned that I don't speak up quick enough for some people, and I process certain emotional information a little slower than like most people, or not most people, I would just say people that have been close to me. And that was like surprising to me. Sometimes when you're in certain situations, in certain relationships with your friends, your family, partners, whatever it is, they kind of hold up a mirror to you sometimes, and they're like, hey, some behavior of yours is not like cute. And then you got to assess whether or not they're telling the truth, because the girls will gaslight you, which I've been in those situations as well. But sometimes people do let you know that, you know, some of your actions is real stank. And so while I have and will always hold a lot of grace for myself, I do work on telling people how I feel about certain things rather than holding on to it and processing it forever, because I'm like afraid that it'll cause some kind of like further division in whatever relationship. So there's that. Graceful left the chat, says, so are you dating anyone right now? No.
Hell no.
I am just having fun out here. I don't need no interruptions. I'm good. As soon as I got out of that last relationship, my life got like a whole lot more colorful. It was sad for a little bit, but I feel like I'm on a different level now because I don't have so much of that clogging my brain, and I'm like, ooh, I'm creative again, and I feel zest for life again. I ain't trying to be in no relationship anytime soon because that can be a lot to handle. Chanel M says, will you ever flat iron or blow dry your hair? This YouTube world would be so boring without you. You're so love you so freaking much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Love your transition into vlogging. I'm gonna watch whatever you post, but I love your vlogs a lot. Okay, bye, ho. P.S. You got me saying ho after everything now. I do want to flat iron my hair. I'm just so weary of like who I'm letting to do it. I need to find somebody that I really trust and somebody that makes me want them to flat iron my hair, and I haven't found that person yet. I'd fly. You know what I mean? I'd fly across the country for it. Modern Day K says, if you have any moments of self-doubt and feelings of what's the point? How do you push through? Oh, girl, I have those moments maybe like 1 or 2 times a month. Like, girl, this is too much. Like, existing takes a lot of energy. Kind of get a little bit down about it, but I recognize that those are just very temporary moments. Very temporary. And emotions are like this. I'm sure if we had data points. And if you just wait out the valley, you'll get back to the peak. But you have to understand that it's going to be that way. So you just like feel it. You go, yeah, what is the point, girl? This is ridiculous. And you let that be a lesson to how you live when you're on the peak. Peanut Butter Cup says, what's your type romantic relationship wise? My type is Benjamin, Jackson, Lincoln. Who? Not the actual presidents, the money, huh? I'm only halfway kidding. The past 2 people that I've dated, they've not been like, admittedly, like not great at making money, which I'm realizing is kind of important to me. I didn't want that to be important to me, so I like convinced myself it wasn't, but it ends up being really hard to have conversations about marriage where your finances mesh together, having kids where kids are a huge expense when like one person is making way more money than like the other person. I need somebody who like really is meeting me there, or somebody who is being practical about it. Like if they want to have kids, then they are working to have a life to be able to sustain that, because I'm not trying to have kids and then not be able to support them through their life. Like it's not happening. I'm definitely into like the girls who are intellectual but can also joke around and be 100% dumb. I love that duality. I do like tall, but I'll take whatever when I'm ready. N says, who are some fellow content creators that you follow for inspiration and why? Corey Kenshin I follow because his work ethic is like insane. For him to be able to edit all his own videos, do all that, it inspires me. Damon Dominique has really cool stylized videos. I also watch a lot of filmmakers like Vulandis, black filmmaker. There's a few others, but I can't remember their names right now. They're really cool. They just talk about like the gear that they use, what it's like being in the industry. Chibu Draws says, any tips on hair growth and getting through the ugly phase of natural hair? Girl, there is no ugly phase. It might be a little awkward, but it ain't never ugly. Just let it rock, ho. Let it rock. But also, you can like make it cute. Get you some little clips. Flat twisting helps because you don't need a ton of hair for flat twisting. When I was in that stage, I also used bandanas. Like bandanas were the move. Just like tying a cute little bandana around. You know you like it. 1000 says, do you get along with your family? The older I get, the less I like them people. You know what? I think a lot of people might feel this way, but I didn't have strong relationships with my family when I was younger because I was in foster care. As I got older, I yearned for those things. And while some relationships you just can't force, so I do have family members that I just like don't really talk to. My mom, I think, like great example for somebody who I didn't have like that strong of a relationship with her for a lot of my adolescence. But now I like love my mom and we are like, we kiki, you know what I mean? Like we go on trips, like she's cool. Interesting Opinion says, advice for new black YouTubers. This is Dez, your best friend, by the way. Okay, Dez. I would say the rumors are true. Black creators are lit and amazing and talented, and they will most likely have to work 3 times as hard as the other girlies. You can copy and paste what a black creator is doing over to a white creator, and as soon as it's on that white creator's channel, boom. Don't get discouraged. Even advice for myself, I think, is to collaborate with other black YouTubers. You should just like work with the people, your friends, creators that you like. Drake Smith says, would you ever consider locking your hair? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Zanae Raya says, when is the last time you cried? Last night when I was so thankful that I got Renaissance tickets, Club Renaissance tickets in London.
Bitch, you lying.
With love from Day. Have you heard the Cufford remix and do you need CPR? I have heard the Cufford remix. I actually haven't listened to it all the way through because I keep pausing it because it's too much. Like it's too much. And so I'm like waiting to listen to the whole thing because I ain't trying to be in a place where I actually do need CPR. Jaleria Taylor says, what state are you in? I'm in a state of anxiety. I'm kidding. Arizona. If you were a dog, what type of bark would you have? Probably Jamie K says, what is some advice that you would give to your college self? Currently in my last semester and feeling very lost. Aw, Jamie. I would say to find more community in queer spaces on campus and in spaces that support you. Places where I lived on campus were so far away from like the queer center, Black Student Union. And so I would just not show up to a lot of the events. Also, I was a little intimidated coming from South Carolina, not being like out. I also struggled with like feeling Black. When you get like straight A's or if you do good at math or whatever, people call you Oreo. And I know I know a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, people think that you're like white on the inside because you speak a certain way or whatever, and people just make you feel like you are not Black. But I think most of it is just this priming through media and whatever to make people believe that like Black isn't smart, Black isn't excellence, Black isn't XYZ. So I just stuck to myself. And then when I got to college and everybody was like, yeah, you could be Black here, you could be gay. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I was intimidated to kind of step my foot into those spaces, because even in college, I remember the first test that we had, all my friends, we were all Black, had like a chemistry test. You go and pick up your test, right? And then everybody huddles around going over their test. And I walk up to them and I'm like, hey y'all, because I just got a 96. And I'm thinking, because we all studied together, I'm thinking that we all got a 96 or we all got high grades, because I mean, it was our first test at Brown University. So I made sure I studied hard, because I was like, oh my God, I'm at an Ivy League school, like this is crazy. And I did that, but all my other friends were like a little sullen in the energy and in the face. One of them asked me what I made on the test, and I was like, oh, I made a 96. And then everybody like scoffed and like walked away from me.
What?
I could not believe it. I didn't say anything other than, oh, I made a 96. And everybody was like, and they were like rolling their eyes at me. That set the tone for the rest of my college career. And so I just stayed away from certain people because I could see that they were just more of the same. But I did find people who were Black, who I still call my best friend today, Uzo. The first person I met at Brown is Black. So supportive. You find good people. So just seek out the community. Raina MRS V says, will you marry me?
Get somebody else to do it.
Y'all be trying to get me contractually engaged with y'all over through the screen. It's not happening. I don't know nothing about the legal system and all this stuff. Anyway, that's it for this Q&A hoe. By the end of this, I think I answered 93 questions, but I probably edited out a ton of them because I just ramble. But thanks for listening, hoe. I got my twist in. I'm ready to go. Anyway, love y'all. Hope to see you back here real soon for another episode of Will on a Whim. But until then, bye. Oh, also follow me everywhere online. Just don't follow me in real life.
Why?
Because I got 2 fists and I'm afraid to use them.
Like, I get ghetto.
You-
People don't know that.
Don't play with me. Bye.